not his name and that's not his characteristics. And they said crazy things to the point where the scholars said they worship nobody. The God that they're worshiping doesn't exist. They lost their God because of what they said. So they made takfir of them people. As for the Asha'ira, they're innovative people. They have innovation. But the innovation doesn't take them outside of the religion. Shiite, those people, a lot of what they say takes them out of, it's kufr, it's kufr. But because there were many people who had some ideas of this tashayyur in the past, different than them, if those people don't know the regular Amr, Bakr, Zayd, they don't know the ignorance, the regular mother and father, they don't, then no. The dalil has to be established against them. The proof has to come to them. And then when they come to know that cursing Abu Bakr and Umar and what they believe about the Mahdi and what they believe about their imams being higher than Allah and all of that stuff like that, and then they persist in that, then they go outside of the religion. So that's rahmah that I have on them. I don't make takfir of those people from Iran, the regular people. As for their imams, Khomeini and the rest of them, Hassan Nasrullah, those people have knowledge. I say they're kuffar, and may they get from Allah what they deserve. And my dua is, Allah put us with Abu Bakr, Umar, and Aisha, and put them in the opposite place of those three. And then let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen. Any more questions, Ikhwani? What's your name, my man? Rashid. Rashid, where are you from? I'm pleased that you said that. Sometimes we ask our young brothers, where are you from? They say, Canada. We like to hear them say, I'm from Kenya, I'm from Somalia, I'm where my people actually come from. And then I'm from Canada after that. What part of Kenya you from? Mombasa. Where at in Mombasa? You know Bundani? Yeah. You know that place? You know Masjid Noor right there. Were you at my wedding? Our young brother Rashid, he wanted to know, Ikhwani, if the person is praying and the imam is reading the quiet prayer and he's going very quickly in the quiet prayer and you don't have the ability to finish the quiet prayer before he goes into ruku', what should you do? No doubt there is a problem because there is a hadith that whoever doesn't read Surah Al-Fatiha, then he doesn't have the salat. So reading Surah Al-Fatiha is a rukn from the arkan of a salat. If someone leaves it off intentionally, he has the ability to do it and he does it intentionally, then his salat is null and void. His salat is null and void. But in this case, he didn't leave it off intentionally. He has another narration where the Nabi described the imam who leads us in salat. There are many hadith like that. إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامُ لِيُؤْتَمَّ بِهِ فَإِذَا كَبَّرَ فَكَبِّرُوا فَإِذَا قَرَأَ فَانْسِتُوا وَإِذَا كَبَّرَ فَكَبِّرُوا وَإِذَا رَكَعَ فَارْكِعُوا. And he went through the whole thing. The imam has been made to be followed. The imam is in front of you so that you can follow him. If he says Allahu Akbar, you say Allahu Akbar. If he starts to read, then you be quiet and you listen to him read. Another hadith said if he says غَيْرَ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِينَ, you say Ameen. Anyone who's Ameen, فَمَنْ وَافَقَ تَأْمِينُهُ تَأْمِينَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. If the imam says Ameen and you say Ameen, anyone's Ameen that coincides with the Malaika who also there, his sins will be forgiven from the past. So the Nabi told us, follow that imam. So if you're right at the end, Akhi Rashid, if you're right at the end of reading the surah, and he's in ruku' and you can read it, and you know he's not coming up, then go ahead and read it. But if you still have a lot, then just go ahead and make ruku'. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Fear Allah to the best of your ability. And this is one of the reasons he said that the best imams are the ones you love and they love you. And the worst imams are the ones you hate and they hate you. You make dua against them, they make dua against you. There's another hadith said, if the imam gets it right, he gets the reward, you get a reward. If he does it wrong, it's against him and it's for you. So we just follow him. Any more questions, Ikhwani? Akhi, tfaddal. Some of the Shiite, they have the opinion that Jibril made a mistake by giving the Quran to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as opposed to giving the Quran to Ali, Ali bin Abi Talib. What do we say about that? We say the same thing that the ulama like Al-Imam Ibn al-Qayyim said concerning these issues. He wrote a book, Ikhwani, in which he established and he proved that Shiaism comes from Judaism, from the Jews. And there are many similarities between the religion of the Shiite and the religions of the Jews, and many things that both groups believe in. Both groups. And this is one of the similarities, is that the Shiite, like the Jews, took Jibril as an enemy, and they attributed to him what is impossible. Allah Ta'ala mentioned about the nature of the malaika, la ya'sun Allah fima amarohum. They don't disbelieve Allah. They don't disobey Allah in what He tells them to do. But they do what they're told. And here you come and you say he was told to give it to Ali, but he gave it to Muhammad. That's kufrum billahi. Allah said in the Quran, Man kana aduwan lillahi wa malaikatihi wa Jibril wa Mikael fa inna Allah aduwan lil kafirin. Anyone who is an enemy to Allah, his malaika, to Jibril and Mikael, Allah is an enemy to those who disbelieve. So when the Nabi was giving dawah to those Yahud, everything that Musa and their prophets told them, when the last Khatam al-Nabiyyin comes, to make sure he's not a false prophet, ask him this, ask him that, ask him this, ask him that. So the Nabi was always proven to them. Things kept happening, showing them he's Rasulullah. Then finally they said, okay, Muhammad. If you answer these 3 questions, we're going to believe in you. Who or why is it that the child resembles the mother or the father? Why? The Nabi, he told the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if the man, while having relationships, if his water comes out first, the child will resemble the man or come out a male. If the lady, her water comes out first, the child will come out as a female or resemble the wife. They said that's correct. What's the first food that the people of Al-Jannah are going to eat? He said they're going to eat from the liver of a particular fish. They said that's right. This is the last one. Who gives you the revelation? The revelation comes to you from who? He said Jibril. They said, oh, Yahud said, oh, Jibril is our enemy. He is the one who comes and kills us, punishes us. If you would have said Mikael, we would have believed in you. That's why Allah said about those Yahud in the Quran, يَعْرِفُونَهُ sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, يَعْرِفُونَهُ كَمَا يَعْرِفُونَ أَبْنَاءُهُم. They knew he was the truth, just like they knew their own sons. They know their sons. They know when their son is lying. They know when the son screams, the son is really hurt. It's a serious cry and so forth. So on. They know him. So that ayah was revealed. Anybody who's an enemy to Allah is Malaika, Jibril, Mikael. Allah is an enemy to them. And those people took that animosity towards Jibril. This Minhaj as-Sunnah Nabawiyah. It's a book, 7 volumes, refutation against the Rafida. And in that book, it's only in Arabic. Minhaj as-Sunnah Nabawiyah. This person said if your wife refuses to sleep in the bedroom with her husband without his consent, what is the Islamic ruling? It's not the haqq of the wife to sleep in another part of the room or the house without the husband's consent. It is the haqq of the husband to do this to her. But it's not her haq to do it. If she does that, then she is disobeying Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. The Nabi told the men, when you boycott your wife, فَعِذُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ شِقَاقَ بَيْنِهِمَا. What's the ayat? The beginning of the ayat? No, not that one. The one, فَضْرِبُوهُمْ. Where's the whole father in the masjid? The end of the ayat said, وَإِذَا خِفْتَ نَشُوزَهُنَّ فَعِذُهُنَّ وَاهْجُرُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ وَاضْرِبُوهُنَّ. If you fear disobedience from the lady, then warn her. That doesn't work, then separate yourself from her in the bed. If that doesn't work, then you can hit her. You can chastise her. Not hit her, break the bone, leave any marks. The part that says boycott them in the bed, the Prophet said, the boycott is only in the bed. That she sleeps in the bedroom, he sleeps in the living room. She sleeps in the children's room, he sleeps in the bedroom. She sleeps in the bedroom, he sleeps on the floor in the bedroom. He sleeps on the bed in the bedroom, she sleeps on the floor in the bedroom. Meaning, when he boycotts her, he can't leave the house. Can't leave the house. Not like that. So that's the haqq of the husband. He's going to figure out where the boycott and how it's going to take place, but it has to be in the house. As for the lady, that's not her haqq. That's why the girl has to be very careful about who she chooses to get married, because he has tremendous rights over her. The Nabi told the women, if they are baking bread over the stove, the husband came and he wanted to have relations, she should comply. If she's on her camel, the man wants to have relations, she should comply. It doesn't mean he has relations on a camel in the car. It doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that while she's in the kitchen cooking, it doesn't mean that. It's going to show the lady that to this degree, she shouldn't say no. That's the meaning of the hadith. So if the lady is doing that, then Allah Azza wa Jal, and he goes to sleep angry with her, Allah and his angels who are in the sama are angry with her. Very quickly, Ikhwani, we want to get through this stuff because the time is rolling. This person said here, the prophets bringing people back to life. The prophets bring people back to life. Why would Dajjal be allowed? What? The prophets bring people back to life. Why would Dajjal be allowed to do so? Why is this not a mu'jiza? No doubt, as we mentioned earlier, the prophets have been given the mu'jizat, miracles, and from those miracles in the Quran is that a number of anbiya, by Allah's permission, brought people back to life. وَإِذْ قَتَلْتُمْ نَفْسًا فَادَّارَأْتُمْ فِيهَا وَاللَّهُ مُخْرِجٌ مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ. Remember, you killed someone, and you disagreed amongst yourselves. Who did it? What happened? And Allah showed you what you were trying to hide. And Musa brought that man back to life. Isa ibn Maryam brought that man back to life. That's an action of prophets and messengers. So if it's an action of prophets and messengers, why would Dajjal be able to do it? Allah mentioned about himself in the Quran, La yus'alu anma yaf'al wa hum yus'alun. Allah is not asked why he does this, why he does that, but the people are asked. The people are asked. Yamhu Allahu ma yasha'u wa yuthbit. Allah establishes what he wants, he erases what he wants. So he allowed this thing to be done on the hands of that criminal Ad-Dajjal to test the people, Doesn't mean he's a prophet, doesn't mean he's a messenger, doesn't mean what he did was a mu'jiza. Who was the scholar who claimed it was Khidr? Who was the scholar who claimed it was Khidr who was killed by Dajjal? Is it a proof that a person can be killed for saying the truth and Islam is okay with that? Is it okay? Is it a proof a person can be killed for saying the truth and Islam is okay with that? The scholar that we told you about, Ikhwani, is a well-known issue. Kunya Abu Ishaq Ibrahim bin Ibn Sufyan al-Faqih. He's ma'ruf, mashhur. He's a thiqa, thabt. Those of you who have the book of hadith that Al-Imam al-Mizzi wrote, one of the students of Ibn Taymiyyah, where that man brought all of the names of every narrator in the Kutub al-Sitta, and he gave a ruling about them, who they narrated from and who narrated from them. If you go to that book, he'll mention his name. He'll mention Abu Ishaq, Ibrahim ibn Sufyan al-Faqih. And then Taqrib al-Tahdhib, the Ibn Hajar, he said about him, Thiqatun Thabt. He narrated Sahih Muslim. And he was wrong in that issue. As for the young boy, I think what they're saying is that the young boy said to the Dajjal, you are the Dajjal. And as a result of saying the haq, he was killed. Is Islam okay with this? Is Islam okay with a person losing his life because of the truth? Yes, Islam is okay with that, as long as he does it the right way. Prophet made a prohibition. لا يمنعن أحدكم لا يمنعن رجلا هيبة الناس أن يقول بحق إذا علمه أو شهده أو سمعه. Don't let the fear of people stop you from saying the truth. If you hear it, if you witness it, if you see the truth, don't be afraid that he's your uncle. Don't be afraid that he's the Sheikh. Don't be afraid that he's the one who's giving the lecture. Don't be afraid he says something about hijrah. You know that hadith. You have to say, hey, but the hadith said, whoever made hijrah for Allah and His Messenger, then that's good. Whoever made hijrah for the dunya, it seems to be a conflict. If you know something, don't be afraid. Just have to say it in a nice adab with respect. If your statement is going to cost your life, then that's from the best jihad in al-Islam. The Nabi told the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, afdal jihad, kalimatul haq inda sultan jair. The best jihad is saying the truth in front of an oppressive leader. Not in front of the people, in front of him, you and him. Because when you tell him the truth, he could take his knife out, his sword out, and put you in prison, chop your head off. But you were not afraid of that. You gave your dunya up, you gave your life up for the truth. So yes, you can lose your life, but that doesn't mean, ikhwani, you should be reckless. It doesn't mean you should be reckless. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he knew the hadith that the Nabi mentioned about Yazid ibn Muawiyah and the fitna that Yazid was going to bring. During the time of Yazid, Abu Hurairah said, if I tell you people about all of the hadith that I know, they would chop my head off. About the fitna of the youngsters of Quraysh who are going to make fitna, meaning Yazid. If I told you all those hadith that I know, they would kill me. Yazid would kill me. So he never told the people about those many hadith talking about